The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of your healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your mental or physical health. The views expressed are those of the host and guests and do not replace personalized care from a licensed professional.
Welcome to Mindful Moments with Pedro Morante, a space where a nurse practitioner and educator shares real talk on mental wellness, mindfulness, and navigating life in and out of healthcare. Let's take a moment to breathe, reflect, and grow together.
Very important, guys, to start slow, go steady. No, it's not a fast race. We're all in this together.
There's a lot of anxiety, depression, and PTSD going on. So just need to make sure that our message as a provider is heard by our minority patients. Making sure that we are here for you.
Welcome back to Mindful Moments with Pedro Morante, and I'm so glad to be here on this mental health platform. This is a space where the stories of purpose, leadership, and humanity come alive. Today's episode is one I've been deeply looking forward to because this conversation isn't just about nursing, leadership, or titles. It's about visibility, courage, softness, and power. Our guest is Dr. Danielle McCamey, a force, visionary, and a trailblazer. She's a doctor of nursing practice, acute care nurse practitioner, and is nationally recognized leader with fellowships. She is also the founder, CEO, and president of DNPs of Color, an organization that has transformed what it means for DNPs of Color to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, and empowered. In this episode entitled Seen, Heard, Leading, the Transformative Vision of Dr. Danielle McCamey, we go beyond the resume. We talk about the moments that shape her heart, the clinical experiences that still live with her, the courage it took to build community when space didn't exist, and the power of mentorship, advocacy, and authenticity. We'll also get personal, talking about her joy, balance, softness, strength, and what it truly means to lead with intention. So wherever you are, whether you're driving, studying, resting, or dreaming, I invite you to lean in and open your heart and listen closely. This is one of my dream collaboration, and now it's happening. Dr. Danielle McCamey in the house. Thank you so much.
Hey!
Yay!
Dr. Pedro, I've been eagerly awaiting this moment. I've been seeing so many of my colleagues on your show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, when's my turn?
Yeah, I think we get the perfect time and perfect collaboration for this one. I really, really admire how you empowered us as your DNPs of Color members, and I'm proud to be a member of this organization. So, Dr. Danielle, let's start at the very beginning. What inspires you to be a nurse and a visionary leader that you are today?
Oh my goodness. So, my inspiration in nursing comes from my mom. I grew up in a single parent family household, and my mom was um, a home health nurse. And so she would take me with her to visit her patients. And, at the time I was just like a little kid, probably like school age. And I just thought that she was magical. We would, visit her different patients and they would not be feeling well when we first got there. And then by the time we left, they felt better. And so I was like, my mom is magical. So I want to be like her. I didn't realize that it was nursing, and I didn't realize that she was modeling, you know, her way of being able to meet people's needs and the privacy and vulnerabilities of their home. Um, and then later, as I grew and was deciding what I wanted to do with my life, I wanted to be a physician, if I'm going to be honest. And then when I saw how long it took to become a physician, I was like, my mom was like, go ahead and come on to nursing, come to nursing. So she is absolutely my inspiration for nursing. In terms of visionary leadership, honestly, I never really thought of myself as a visionary leader until recently. One of my mentors, Dr. Sandra Davis, always in my ear, like, you are so visionary, like, you see things that people don't see. And I'm like, I'm starting to believe it. I'm like, okay, maybe I do see things that people don't see. So I'm learning to embrace it because it's a process, to really, sometimes, we can be our worst critics. So I'm learning each day to embrace the visionary leader that I am, because I do recognize that I see things that not everybody sees.
I think that's a superpower, and not everybody can utilize those senses and vision that you have, especially when you created a very powerful organization. And thanks to your mom for influencing you uh, to become a nurse. I think that's very powerful. That not all superheroes wear capes. Sometimes they are nurses like us, right?
Yes.
Now, when you think back of your first clinical experience, was there a moment that made your heart swell or even ache, and that still stays with you?
Oh my gosh. I've been in the game over 20 years, so there's been so many experiences. But when I think back early in my career, a moment that sticks out the most was I was working a night shift in the medical ICU in DC, and we were full. It was one of those busy nights where it was like full moon activity, like everything was going on, codes, whatever. But it was the day of the inauguration of President Obama, and caring for some Black patients that were older, had experienced, America during the Jim Crow era, and to see them intubated, still in tears in response to actually witnessing a Black man be sworn in as president, and just seeing people experience joy despite their circumstances, and then also just being part of that historical moment, being at a place where, I had the opportunity to care for people in their most critical moments, and then just seeing them in their humanity, despite the tubes and stuff, that them get so excited about, the hope and the possibilities of that time.
That's a very powerful historical event that we have witnessed to. I think it's a matter of representation and also the capability to connect with our President Obama. I think he did a lot of like great projects that benefited all of us, especially for me also an immigrant here in the United States, and also to all our fellows.
Yes.
Now you are the founder, the CEO, and president of DNPs of Color, creating opportunities and building spaces for us, DNPs of color, to be seen, to be heard, and to be valued. What was going through your mind the first time you realized you needed to build this community?
When I was in the early stages of even thinking about this community, I was in the throes of my DMP program, and I was feeling incredibly isolated and alone and lost, because I was the first person in my family to pursue doctoral studies. And so I just yearned to have some folks that understood my lived experience and also where I was at that moment in time. And I looked to find within current organizations, they didn't have a specific, because I was like, I need someone that is going through their DNP program and they need to like look like me. So I said, you know what? Let me just throw together this Facebook group because like I'm desperate for community. I'm not getting the support that I need from my institution. Quitting is not an option. Failure is not an option, so I need to do something. And I threw together that Facebook group and it just like exploded because people were feeling the same way. There were people that were just getting started, people in the middle, and then people that were done that were like rooting us on. And it just organically grew into something powerful and beyond my wildest imagined that it would be today.
Yes, it's amazing how you created that platform, had influence, and have found everybody to be their home and to be able to connect with peers that in a DNP program, it can be very challenging. But if you have the proper support, I think you'll be able to be successful. And you
Absolutely.
guys are the mentors that are out there to root for us. And that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Now, seeing DNPs of color grow, what has been the most inspiring or most emotional moment for you along the way?
When people discover that we exist, I love having conversations that people like. I was just up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I was Googling, and then I found DMPs of Color. And then I started looking through all your social media. And I always offer up my time to connect with people. So when people hit me up, I'm like, let's hop on Zoom. And so when I get that opportunity to connect with people and just like, it's so many layers of emotion. It's the validation that there's an organization that exists that validates that yes, you are a professional, yes, your education is valuable. And then it's the relief that people share with me of knowing that they have this community that has been there, has done that, and has a whole host of resources to help them with their success. And the third piece is when people can be unapologetically themselves. Like there's no code switching, there's no, trying to conform or change something about yourself that you were born with or how you identify as. So it's just I feel like that movie 50 First Dates, like every time I meet someone, I'm just like blown away, like, oh my gosh, you're excited about this? Me too. So it's such a joy to connect with people when they find us.
I love your passion of connecting people, and I've witnessed that during the DNPs of Color National Conference in Oakland. And it's not your typical conference when you attended there. We have so much fun. The panelists are so great, and people are so welcoming, and feels like home. It's like, oh my God, this is home for me, and I really love the feeling of that one, and want everybody also to experience that. I think you're hosting one this year for Detroit, is that correct? Michigan?
Yeah, we'll be in Detroit third weekend of October, so October 15th through the 18th.
Okay.
And really, really excited. And I was glad that you got the chance to come out because you're an award-winning, scholarship winning recipient from DNPs of Color. So hand clap to you for being recognized for your outstanding achievement in mentorship.
Thank you, Doc. And I'm so humbled and honored. And I was happy to witness that kind of conference because it's not your typical conference. We had so much fun, especially when we wear our pajamas. Everybody was dancing, singing. So everybody was just having fun. And it's a time for us as providers, also as nurses, to feel not burnout. I think it's a great way to be off work and at the same time enjoy and connect with people.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Doctor. And your mentorship is very central to your work. What's one lesson you've learned through mentoring that surprises you?
Um, Mentoring for me, the lessons are honoring people's humanity, and mentorship requires you to love on that person, because for me, I like to connect with people and their humanity. I want to know what's going on at home, what's going on at work, what's going on at school, to have that holistic understanding and connection. And I think that for me, that's been a huge marker of my success, is centering people's humanity and actually loving my mentees for who they are and loving them through the different phases, whether it be tough love, um, or good love. So I think that a lot of people, I don't think that they feel, I don't think that they really realize that love is central to mentorship.
I love what you mentioned about tough love. Mentorship is really important, especially for those who are just starting with their early career as nurses and also as nurse practitioner. Right, we needed that someone to guide us, because if there's somebody that could at least guide us to where we want to end up or our goals are, it's gonna be so much easier to navigate what you want to do in your life, and your goals are in alignment to your mentor, and they can at least open up opportunities too. I always hear this from you: your network is your net worth. And I love.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I just interviewed Dr. Annie Atabong last week.
Oh, so
She highly
funny.
mentioned how you were very instrumental for her to create her Society of Nurse Practitioners
Mhm.
Color, and you are really genuine and authentic with helping people, and that's what we root for a mentor like you.
Yes. I hope she told the real story. I saw the clip. I haven't, it's on my queue to watch, but she was procrastinating so hard on launching that organization. And I was like, Annie, it's been a year. What are we doing? So I'm just so proud to see it flourishing, and they're going to be having their second conference in Nashville. I'm like, y'all taking it to the road already. So I'm incredibly proud of her and the organization. I hope that you're a member.
Yes, I am. And that's an organization that we need in our space as psych nurse practitioners, because sometimes we want to feel the sense of belongingness.
Yeah, I would agree. And then also, I feel like psych mental health nurse practitioners is a specialty that's booming. And then when you add that you get to serve communities that have been marginalized or racialized, because we have a different way of taking in the world, and I feel like our needs for mental health are different because we have a different perspective and experiences in the world. So I'm really excited that organization exists.
Yes, and we needed that organization for mental health to flourish, and of course to destigmatize it in all aspects of our life.
Yep.
And on the advocacy side, which you believe is the core of DNPs of Color, what's a personal story of advocacy that taught you the power of your voice?
Oh my gosh. Um, I would say this past year, I really have had an epiphany of the power of my voice in an advocacy space. So, um, at the beginning of this year, was feeling incredibly frustrated by a lot of things that were happening under the current climate of the United
Mm.
States, and was feeling like nursing was not showing up.
Mm.
And so I ended up inviting a group of leaders, and we had a roundtable discussion about nurses' responsibility during times like this. It was the 75th anniversary of the ANA Code of Ethics for Nurses, where it clearly outlines humanity, ethics, social justice, and science, and nurses' responsibility in engaging to uphold that. And so, myself and a couple of those leaders put together this grassroots group called Nurses Shift Change. And I had never been in an advocacy space where I was more external with it, like how I am now. I've always kind of been like, yeah, I'll make sure I'm registered to vote, and I'll vote, and that's it. Like, I've never really been so activated and engaged as much as I have been in the past year. and it's been incredibly empowering. And I love that we are able to inspire others to find that spark, to find their voice, to be able to advocate out loud.
Yes, advocacy is really needed for our profession, especially with the current times that we're facing right now. There's so many issues that needs to be addressed, but you are
Yeah.
there as a nursing leader, and addressing some of these issues is very important because we
Hmm.
profession to stand united and be as one and make sure that we are stronger if we unite as nurses.
Yep.
Now, you had a very inspiring post in your social media page that struck me. I am allowed to be soft and powerful at the same time. I really love this. What does that mean to you personally? And can you share a time when embracing softness actually made you stronger as a leader?
Oh my gosh. I feel like these are lessons that I'm just now learning in this latter half of my life. Because when I think about my lived experience, and then honestly, being a Black woman in America, I feel like there's this constant push of just trying to be seen or fighting to be heard. And this past year, as I've been finding my voice in advocacy, but also recognizing to embrace that I don't necessarily always have to be in this hardness, in this pushing place, but I can also be in this resting, soft place. But it's been taking a lot of like reprogramming of my mind because I've been conditioned to be productive. You got to be doing this, you got to be doing that. If you go to sleep, you're lazy. If you don't do that, it's not going to get done. And this past year, in an effort to really honor myself, my body, my nervous system, I've been taking in the small joys of life. I've been taking time to just sit in silence or stare out my window or go for a walk, and go smell the roses. So, really defining what softness is for me, and it's been incredibly grounding.
Mm.
It's been incredibly relaxing, and it's been good for my mental health to really tap into the other aspect of my being, and being soft and being rested and being relaxed. So it's been a process because all my life I've been conditioned not to.
I love how you mentioned about being soft at times and also being grounded with our mental health because that's very important. Sometimes we have the capability to go, go, go and do all the tasks at the same time, but sometimes self care is put as last priority. And it's really important how you mentioned about slow mornings, slow days.
Yes. I love a good slow morning.
We're so used to hustling and we're so used to a busy schedule, but I think slow mornings are also important for us.
Oh, yes, I would agree.
Remember the theme of DNPs of Color last year, rest and resistance.
That's
Yeah,
it.
and struck me that all nurses are really like gonna burn out or they're not gonna last in the profession if they don't know how to rest and they don't know how to recognize burnout syndrome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was why we wanted the theme of the conference to be rest and resistance, to give people permission. Because I felt like for me, I never had permission to rest. It was just like, keep going, And so I hope that people left that conference having permission to rest, and also with some strategies on how to do that.
Yeah, so reflection about self care and also it's always okay to take a pause in your profession and make sure to prioritize your mental health when we have to so we can last on this profession.
Yes.
Now let's get a little heart to heart personal questions with you. If you could have a
Okay.
conversation with a Danielle who just started nursing school, what advice would you give her?
Oh man, young nurse Danielle, I would tell her to take advantage of more opportunities, to not be afraid to spread your wings and experience new and different things. I will also tell her to have more than one mentor because it's so much value added to your life and to your path that you they help you find that courage to be able to experience new and different things.
And those powerful mentors that you got guided you to where you at right now. And thank you for
Absolutely.
emphasizing the power of that. What's a small, ordinary moment in your day that brings you pure happiness right now?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, it's the slow mornings and looking out my window.
Mm.
Where I live in Baltimore, I have amazing views of the harbor and the city and the water. So just literally just taking some time, 10 minutes, just to sit and stare out the window.
I think that's a wonderful view and kind of like keep us grounded and appreciate the view and the things that matters most in our life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Absolutely.
good one. Now, if someone followed you around for a day, what might surprise them about your life outside of nursing?
That's interesting. If someone were to follow me around, I feel like I'm pretty much an open book. I'm very silly. When I'm at work, people can catch me. This is hilarious. When I have time between meetings, I'll roll up to someone's door that's open and I'll like dance. um, and it's just so random, and people will just be like, "What just happened?" I do that to my dean all the time. Like, she'll have her door cracked, and I'll just like creep in, and I'll just be like,
Oh.
and she'll be like, "Get out of here!" But I feel incredibly blessed that I have a work environment that people either they indulge me and laugh, or they just like be like, "Girl, what is wrong with you?" So you'll find me. So don't have your doors open, because I will find it a way to dance in your doorway.
I think we would love to see that on someone probably on their social media, and we're gonna leave the door open.
Yes. Oh, that's hilarious.
Thank you so much for sharing that. When you strip away all your titles, the fellowships that you have, and the organizations that you built, what would you say is your superpower?
My nursing superpower is my ability to connect with anybody. I can't think of maybe just like a handful of experiences where I haven't been able to connect, but my Clifton strength, for those out there that know about Clifton strengths, my number one is relator, and I lean into that heavily. So that's my superpower.
Amazing. And you were able to at least build this powerful community, and agree with that one. That's a skill, and that's something that is not innate for anybody.
Hmm.
Now, how do you balance leading such a transformative community with your personal life?
Oh gosh, as my boyfriend is listening here in the background. This year I've made a commitment. Last year, my commitment was to really get clear on the activities that bring me peace, ease, and joy. So I was able to eliminate a lot of fluff. Um, and I also made a declaration that Monday through Friday is time for those activities, but Saturday and Sunday is for joy, it's for resting, it's for, connecting with family, connecting with my boyfriend, just connecting with my humanity. Um, so for me, the secret has been setting those boundaries and being consistent with those boundaries. And for me, it works. And also, um, really being in tune to my calendar from day to day in ensuring that I have my lunch break blocked out. I have my morning blocked out so I can sip my tea and check my email uninterrupted. And then, most importantly, at the end of my workday, I have a 20-minute block just to allow myself to process what happened from that day, so that I can leave whatever happened at work. And so I can come home with a clear mind and grounded nervous system.
That's very important. And I love your tips about the 20 minutes thing. I think everybody should do that one so that at least you're able to reflect on what your achievements are. Because sometimes we don't root for ourselves. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves. Oh, we didn't do anything at all. But when you look at it, we did so much on that day. And those small winnings should also be celebrated, not just the big ones.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I think we need to be tooting our horns a whole lot more. That's why I loved when you showed up at the conference and was receiving your award. You had videos going, you had cameras going. I was like, that's right, Dr. Pedro. This is a celebration.
Yeah.
Yes, receive your award.
Yes. I think that everybody should root for each other, and we are not on this platform to be competitor with each other, but we are one. We are all nurses, and thank you for creating this platform for us to at least we felt seen, heard, and validated. Now, when
That's
people
the
step
goal.
into the spaces you've created, what do you hope they will feel?
I hope that they feel seen, heard, and valued, and that they can show up unapologetically themselves. I think that's probably like the thing that really um I'm just like resolute in ensuring to the best of our ability that we have that people can be authentic, their authenticity, because I know for me how stressful it is sometimes day to day to try to conform to being, something that you're not. Like for me, when I'm not wearing braids, I have an afro, and my afro's name is Angela, and I can remember times feeling so anxiety ridden because of my hair to show up at work. I mean, I've even had people tell me during, presentations where I'm presenting, like, your hair just looks so unkempt, like it looks so messy. And I'm like, this is the hair on top of my head. So it's incredibly important for me, for people to have that space to be authentic and experience that psychological safety. Because I feel like, well, I'll speak to my experience. Being a Black woman, there hasn't been a lot of spaces, because nursing is predominantly white, where there has been a centering of psychological safety, where it's like, let me call you into the table. Like, how are you feeling? You look great today. Like, we love how you're showing up. Be your bubbly, silly self. We're not going to judge you and look at you as less than because you have an afro, because of the color of your skin, or how you sound when you speak, or where you come from, or what your lived experience was like. I just really want people to feel that they can be themselves and be safe to be themselves.
I think that's how everybody should feel. The psychological safety is important. The feeling of belongingness, as according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is also a top priority that we really need to make sure to feel. And thank you, because you made us feel that way when we attended those conferences.
Yes.
Now, this is a very important message that you would like to utilize for the next generation of DNPs. What's your message to the next generation of DNP nurses of color listening to us right now?
Take up your space. You earned the education that you have pursued. You deserve to be in the places and spaces you choose to be in. You deserve to be seen, heard, and valued. So take up those spaces, and recognize that you're not only representing yourself, but you're representing your community. You're representing people that came before you and whose shoulders you stand on. So take pride in, and sometimes we're the only one. So take pride in that and make your mark, whatever that is. Don't try to copy or emulate someone, but find your authentic voice, your authentic space, and take up that space. If not you, then who?
I love your inspirational message. For those who are tuning into this podcast, make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to this podcast so you can get more updates. And also at the same time, Dr. McCamey's message is very powerful that finding your voice is really important. And it's okay to be unapologetic for what you're doing as long as you're creating an impact to the community.
Yes.
Now, my follow up question, if you could leave everyone with one truth about leadership, mentorship, or opportunity, what would it be?
Ooh, there's so many different branches in there. You said leadership, mentorship, opportunity. Um, when I think about leadership, I want to invite people to think about leadership from a different frame of reference, that anyone has the ability to lead in a place and space that's aligned with their skill set and their passions. Yes, there are titles, but especially moments like now, we need folks to be leading in spaces that they know that they can make an impact. So that's my piece for leadership, is that we all have the ability to do it, that's aligned with our skill set and passions. When I think about mentorship, I think about, like I said, like having that mutually beneficial relationship, that you are committed to each other's success. Mentorship is not a one-way street. I mean, I've been in mentoring relationships where I'm looking at my mentor, I'm like, well, you're the mentor and I'm giving you mentoring advice. But recognizing people's humanity in that, like everybody needs an encouraging word or space to be, or advice to receive. So mentoring is mutual, and love and humanity should be the center. And then opportunity, man, take hold of the opportunities. If you have an opportunity to make a change or be part of something big, or learn something new or experience something new, take hold of it.
I could not further agree with you. And definitely attending conference like DNPs of Color made or open up spaces for me also to connect with my different colleagues. So thank you so much for that one. I've met amazing people, Dr. Louise,
Yes.
yeah, Dr. Tracy in person, and the rest of amazing mentors, Michael, Dr. Dwayne. Oh my God, I've gained so much friends from that one, and that community will actually help you also be the best version of yourselves, and you can actually be more inspired by what they do. So thank you for that wonderful experience that you've offered to me last year, and hopefully this year we're able to get more Filipinos also in my community to attend this of
Yes.
color.
Yes. We would love, love, love more Filipino nurses and leaders to come join us. It sounds like your network expanded tremendously, Dr. Pedro.
Yes, I'm very thankful to you, and you're very instrumental, and you're one of the mentors that I look up to. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, Dr. Danielle, if somebody is out there tuning into this podcast and they want to connect with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, it's pretty easy. I'm, am pretty accessible. So I'm on all the social media platforms. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X, but I've deactivated my account, so that doesn't count. But typically, sliding my DMs, my LinkedIn DMs. When people reach out, I just send them my calendar and, give them the opportunity to find a time that works. And I love connecting with different people far and wide. So I welcome the opportunities to connect with folks.
Thank you, Doc. Dr. Danielle, this conversation has been nothing short of powerful. Your words, your honesty, and your vision reminds me and to all the listeners out here that leadership isn't just about position. It's about presence, purpose, and people. What stands out most in this reminder that we are allowed to be soft and powerful at the same time. That advocacy can be quiet or bold, and that mentorship can change generations. And that when people are truly seen and heard, transformation follows. To everyone listening, especially the DNPs of Color and future nurses tuning in this episode, this is a reminder that you belong, your voice matters, and your leadership is needed exactly as you are. If this conversation moved you, inspired you, or affirmed you something in your spirit, please share this podcast episode with Dr. Danielle. Leave a review and continue supporting the work of DNPs of Color. Dr. Danielle, thank you for the spaces you create, the doors you open, and the truths that you speak. And to our listeners, until the next time, keep leading with heart, courage, and intention. This is Mindful Moments with Pedro Morante, where stories don't just inspire, they transform. Thank you guys, and stay safe and stay well. Thank you, Dr. Danielle.
Yay, we did it!
Thanks for listening to Mindful Moments with Pedro Morante. Be sure to follow the podcast so you'll never miss an episode. If you find value in our time together, leave a quick review. It helps more people discover the space we're creating. For updates and more reflections, follow us on social media. Until next time, take care.